you like Mounds candy bar, well, I've got something that I think is a little bit better than the Mounds. If you want to know what it is, keep watching. Hey y'all, it's April, and thanks for stopping by my crazy creative life. In today's video, we are going to make coconut balls. If you like Mounds, this is actually better than Mounds to me. It's very simple, or at least the way that I make it. I don't even know if I make it right. I just know I make it the way I make it. So it might be interesting to watch how I make my coconut balls, or sometimes I try to make them like a little square to differentiate them from my peanut butter balls, because I usually make them on the same day, or I try to. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump into the video, and I will show you how I make my coconut balls, or Mounds, or whatever you want to call them. All right, I'm going to bring you here until I get to doing my recipe, and then we'll go back overhead. A lot of this is going to be very similar to my peanut butter ball recipe that it's my latest one. If you haven't seen it yet, I'll go ahead and put it in the iCard here, and then I will have it at the end where you can just click it too and go to watch it. But it's going to be very similar. The coconut balls, Mounds, whatever you want to call them, is going to be very similar to the peanut butter balls. So we're going to start off with a stick of softened butter. So how you know it's softened, you can press in it and it will leave an indentation, and it will just stay there, and it's easy to indent. So it's 1 stick of salted butter. I'm ready to put you over here on the overhead. We're going to use a stick of butter, the 14-ounce bag of coconut flakes. This sweetened, make sure it is sweetened coconut. You do not want the unsweetened coconut, not for this. You definitely want the sweetened coconut for this. Then I'm going to use a tablespoon of my homemade vanilla extract, a pinch of salt, and it will probably use the rest of this bag, which is a half a bag of the powdered sugar. The other half I used for my peanut butter balls. So I will probably use the rest of this, and if I have to have more, then obviously I will tell you. So let's go ahead and get you over on the overhead, and I'll meet you back here in just a minute. All right, here we go. So there's my butter. In goes my 14-ounce bag of sweetened coconut flakes, a tablespoon of my homemade vanilla, and a pinch of pink Himalayan salt. Now this is salted butter, so if you use unsalted butter, you might want to add a couple of pinches of salt, but since it's already salted, I'm just doing a little bit. Okay, as with the peanut butter balls, if you already watched it, we're going to go ahead and start off, before we put the sugar in, just mixing all this together with our hands, and the heat of our hands will melt that butter. And I'm just incorporating all of this flakes and this butter together and trying to get it all spread out. Like I said, I'm sure there's a bajillion ways to do this. And again, I know people use the sweetened the sweetened condensed milk. I don't know if they use the butter. That might be the binder and not the butter. The butter is the binder here. But with that, I know the sweetened condensed milk would be the binder, but I don't know if they use butter too. If you know, tell me in the comment section below. But anyway, this is how I do mine, until I feel like all of the butter and coconut is pretty much incorporated. Right, then I'm going to dump my sugar in. All right, that was probably about half the half, or maybe a little over. Like I said, with the peanut butter balls, it's just something that you're going to have to get in there and make and get a feel for. It's hard to really say. And I feel like I'm a terrible instructor trying to say that, but it really is. There's just some things you got to get in there and get a feel for yourself. But I tell you what, whew, it'll give you a workout. I have to switch hands. But I did make those peanut butter balls. Like I said in that video, I usually make these on the same day. So I've got the peanut butter balls actually in the freezer as we speak. So my arm was already kind of tired from that. The more you mix this with your hand, the more the butter will melt and it will come together. But see, like I said, you keep mixing because I'm sure you seen earlier, there was a bunch of flour and you probably thought she ain't ever gonna get that mixed in. You just keep working with it and that butter melts. And as it melts, then it starts. But I need to see, let me taste it real quick. Make sure that is enough sugar. I'm gonna put just a little bit more in there. I may not needed that pinch of salt. Or my pinch may have been a little bit too big of a pinch. Probably what happened. So you keep working with it, it will eventually come together. Okay, so you've seen I had about, I think, packed it was about right there. It was packed down. And then now we're just down to about right here. So, I'm sorry, I can't really tell you a cup or 2 cups. And then also, it depends on the day. It's kind of like with bread, similar. If there's a whole lot of moisture in the air, it may affect it. Or if the air's drier, it can affect it differently. So it's just, you got to get a feel for it. And so, like I said, at first you're going to think, I am never going to get that powdered sugar blended in. But the more you mix with it, you'll get it because the butter melts more. But not only that, powdered sugar melts, some. It's a little different than granulated sugar, obviously, but it melts also into this. So, but this is kind of what you're looking for. You're looking for a dough that, some of it still want to fall, but it's just, I need to compact that in. But you're just looking for a dough that you can shape. So I can pinch some of this off. I could make it in a ball if I wanted to. I could flatten it out. I could flatten it out and make it look like a peppermint patty. Or you can kind of just flatten it out and then work with the sides. Just sort of work it together. That's all I do, is just kind of just go around, kind of work with it. And then, but you can make you like some little cubes, like a cube shape. So I will put you back on the other stand and I will get sort of this cleaned up and I'll show you what we're going to do next. All right, hopefully that's okay. My other little light died and I'm having to charge it. But as with, I'm going to keep referring to those peanut butter balls. As with those, if you've already seen it, then you can kind of ignore what I'm saying or let it be a refresher course. But if you haven't, then it's kind of like with that. I'm using my little 1-inch cookie scoop. A cheaper version that you could get is this little thing. And I'm pretty sure that's a tablespoon and that's a teaspoon, but it's actually a cookie scoop. You just scoop it out and then you press it. And honestly, try to do something and make them be consistent. And you can determine, if you want to do them round, if you want to do them like I showed you a minute ago, the cube, whatever. I don't know but how consistent that's going to be with that, so I'm not even using that one for now. So let's go ahead and get some of these going. And also, like with the same deal with, I'll probably do this square. The same deal with these. You can put a toothpick in it before you freeze them. And so you just set them down on your pan, put your little toothpick in it, and then freeze them. I've got a little tool now, because I used to do that for years. That's how I always done it, and I think some of my family still does. But I've got a little scooper tool, and it's specifically for dipping candies. And so that's easier for me, and I don't have to use the toothpicks. And then when you don't have to use the toothpicks, then you can get more in here to freeze, and you don't have to use as many pans, if that makes any sense, because the toothpicks are sticking up, so you can't really see anything on top of it. But all I'm doing is what I showed you a minute ago. These are a little smaller than that first one. But I'm just taking my little scoop and just trying to, like pinching it together. And then after I get it, feel like it's good and together, then I'm just going around. So I've got 2 fingers here. That's squeezing the 2 sides, and then my thumb and forefinger is squeezing like the top and the bottom, and I just keep going around until I get like a little, somewhat of a cube. And then if you like Almond Joys, I mean, you can, if you have almonds, and I could have done that, I didn't even think about it, but you could put your little almond on top of that, and after you get them made out, and have you a little Almond Joy. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this on fast forward and just let you listen to the music and watch me pat these out in fast motion. Then once I get these patted out, then I'll just do like I did my peanut butter balls, and we will put them in the freezer for a few hours and let them get good and froze. Because you can just let them get cold. You don't have to freeze them. I just personally think it makes it easier because it adheres to that chocolate, or well, I should say that a chocolate adheres to these a whole lot better if they're frozen versus cold. And they're just easier to handle because they are frozen. They're not soft like that. So it's up to you. You can either try to do them cold or you can freeze them, but I'm gonna freeze mine. So anyway, let's go ahead and put you on fast forward, and I'll meet you back once I'm done with these. Okay, hey everybody, it is the next day. I was unable to, and I'm sorry, I'm going to talk funny, and I'm going to probably look funny talking. I just had to get some dental work done, so I'm numb up here, so forgive that. But anyway, I was unable to get everything dipped yesterday, so I'm going to go ahead and get started today and melt the chocolate down and show you how I do my chocolate, and we'll go ahead and dip the coconut balls. All right, here we go. Now what I do, there's all kinds of options. You can melt down chocolate chips, which is what I'm getting ready to show you how I do mine. You can use the almond bark, melt it down. You can use those Ghirardelli wafer chips, and now I do actually like those. You can use those, and Walmart's even got, I think it's made by a baker or something, and it's a little bitty, they're more expensive, but it's a little bitty thing that you can put in your microwave and melt down, and I guess it's probably melting wafers too. But what I do, I take my chocolate chips. Sometimes I do the Nestle's or the Toll House or whatever, but sometimes I just grab the Great Value brand. Just depends on, I guess, my budget or what's in stock. This is my 1 quart Pyrex bowl. You want, okay, that's probably more like 2 cups. And that's about 3/4 of the way up now. The next thing I do, I take this Skull Flax. Now, is there a controversy with this Skull Flax? I guess, because it's made for candle making, canning, different stuff, but it is edible. That's in fact why they sell it. This is an older box. That's why they sell it with the bacon stuff. That's where you'll find it, like with the bacon chips and the marshmallow cream and all that stuff. If they have it in stock, that's where you'll find it, usually on the top shelf. At least at my local Walmart, it's on the top shelf. But I just use a little bit of this, and what this Skull Flax does, it does 2 things. One, it kind of helps to thin out your chocolate, so that way when you're dipping the chocolate, it's a lot easier and it's thinner, and you can get in there and, you know, just make it pretty. Number 2, once it kind of cools back off, especially when you put it in the fridge, it gives it that bite that we like. You know, you like that crisp chocolate bite. That's what it gives. It helps to give that. Kind of like with tempering chocolate, but I still keep mine in the refrigerator because I think they're much better in the fridge than they are left out on the counter. So, with that being said, I use probably about an inch and a half of a block. There's another one. I'm going to cut some of it down. Okay, so I'm going to use about that much, but I'm going to show you a trick. I'm not just going to pop it in the microwave like that. Let me show you something first. Take you some sort of a grater. This is like the half of a box grater, which I've got a box grater too, but you can grate it with this or even that finer one. You can take like a cheese grater. To me, that's a little bit easier because, I don't know, to me, it gets it better. But you want to go in there and you want to grate this stuff. Oops, make a mess while I'm at it. Because when you grate this down, obviously, it's a lot thinner pieces, so it's going to melt down. Get over here. It's going to melt down. It's going to melt down a whole lot better for you if I can get a hold of this. And all I'm going to do is just put it in my microwave. I'm going to turn my microwave down on like half power, 50% power. And I'll go in there, and about every 30 seconds, I'll check it, I'll stir it, and when it looks like it's smooth, even if it's partially unmelted, if there's just like a very few pieces that's unmelted, it's still okay. I'll pull it out, and as you stir it, it'll finish melting. But you gotta be careful because you have to be careful because chocolate chips will burn easy in the microwave. Now, another way you can do it if you don't want to use a microwave or you don't have a microwave, just the double boiler. Sorry, I cannot talk with this. But it's just where you take a pot, fill it full of water, let it boil, and you've got like your glass bowl sitting on top of that boiling water, and where the steam melts it from the bottom. That's the safest way to melt chocolate. It's the slowest way, but it is the safest. So I usually do the microwave. It looks like snow, doesn't it? Okay, honestly, I think that's good. I still have about that much left out of my big chunk that was about... It was about that big, and I've got about that much left. So, if that helps you any at all, I don't know. All right. All right, here we go. If you happen to see something in there and it almost looks clear like water, it's just that wax. So just stir it in real good and it's okay. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Now, if you'll look here, this is the peanut butter balls, which will be in the video before this. So I'm not sure which video I said it in, but I always try to do my coconut balls and my peanut butter balls on the same day. But these will be two separate videos. But anyway, here's my frozen coconut ball. All you do is just pop it in there and kind of shake off the excess. And let me try to find a spot where you can actually see me put it. And then plop it down. Let's see. There we go. I'll show you a closer look here in a little bit. Again, these are my peanut butter balls, so pardon that. And you just throw them down in there, shake off that excess, and kind of just plop them down. And again, I'm still talking weird probably because my lip is still numb. can tell the difference in these simply because of the way I shaped them, and that's why I do the coconut a little bit different than I do the peanut butter. That way I can, when I look at them, I know without trying to break into them. Again, if the chocolate starts getting a little bit hard on you, thick on you, because where these are frozen, it's obviously going to cool down your chocolate. Just pop it back in the microwave about 15 seconds or so. Okay, all I'm going to do, I'm going to thin this chocolate out a little bit more and then do the rest of these. I don't have a whole lot left. And then I will meet you back here whenever I'm done. This is why I said that you need to get something that's more narrow, because when you get to the end of your chocolate and you don't really want to make any more, then if it's easier to tilt and to kind of gather that chocolate together, versus if this was in a big old wide bowl, it would be a little harder to try to get that chocolate to collect at the bottom. Does that make any sense? I hope it does. But I still may have to add melt just a little bit more chocolate to finish these. I forgot to show in either video what you do if you decided you wanted to do the toothpick. That's the toothpick I just inserted. Like I said, normally I freeze it with it because it freezes on there better. It stays on there better is what I'm trying to say. But all you would do, which I'm about out of chocolate, is dip it in your chocolate. It's, like I said, it's best when it's full. And then I usually just take it and swirl it like that. And that gets the excess off. And it is pretty. And then I set it down and, yeah, they probably are a little prettier than this thing. But this thing to me is a little easier, I think. But anyway, that's all you do. You just swirl them, and then whenever the chocolate solidifies, then I take out the toothpick. Okay, there's the coconut balls. These coconut balls, they are hard enough now, solidified enough now to where I can pick them up and I can put them back in their thing that I froze them in. Now, these will be a lot better if you put them in the refrigerator. That cold will make that chocolate colder, and it'll give it more of that snap, like what we like what I was talking about earlier, what we like with chocolate. For now, at least, we can go ahead and put them in our container. I wanted to show y'all something else. If you are trying to get them up and they're really sticking to that parchment paper, then they're probably not solidified enough to put in your thing. These were the last ones I done. So those been done a lot longer. That's why they were easier. But anyway, I just wanted to show you that if they're pulling up like that and leaving some of the chocolate on the paper, then leave them alone. Just let them sit there a little longer. Okay, there they are. And I'm getting ready to put these in the refrigerator and let them harden up a little bit more. Then I'll show you what they're like whenever they get cold. Okay, so this is a little colder now. It's still not as cold as I'd like, but let's see if... It's hard to eat wherever that didn't work, but could you hear just a little bit of crack in there? It does give you just a little bit of that crack that we kind of like I was saying. All right, that's the end of the video. So what did you think about my version of the Mounds? Is it like anything you've ever seen before? I don't know if it's like anything I've ever seen before. I know a lot of people put like the sweetened condensed milk in theirs. I've never done that, but you know, that looks good too, but I've never done that. I just, like I said, I kind of make it the way I make it, and that's the way I've always done it. I don't even know how how I learned how to do that. It's either my mom or my mom's cousin that we used to make candy with when we were kids, if I can talk. So either Vicky or Mom showed me how to make them that way. But anyway, that's it. So if you liked the video, give me a thumbs up. And if you would, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you haven't heard any of my other videos, I am really trying to reach 1,000 subscribers between now and February. In February, it will make 1 year that I have been on YouTube. And I hope to give out just a little small gift. It won't be anything big, but it'll be a little small gift to my subscribers, you know, one person, I'll do a random draw as a thank you for getting me to 1,000 subscribers by my year anniversary. So anyway, that's it. So I hope I will go ahead and just shut up now, and I think I've said everything. Oh, go ahead and turn on the notification bells, because I do plan on doing more Christmas videos, and that way you'll know when I have my newest one uploaded. So anyway, I'll go ahead and shut up, and I hope you have a blessed rest of your day, and I will talk to you in the next one. Bye. Hey, and if you like this video, check out my previous Christmas video, or you may want to check out my 13 Snacks of Halloween series. Talk to you soon.